What we're going to do now is look at an incredibly useful fingering for the major scale. So in this case what we're going to do is play it in the key of C. So we're going to use our second finger on the 8th fret of the lower E string, and then we're going to play the next note with our little finger at the 10th fret, and then we're going to move to the A string and use our first finger at the 7th fret, our second finger at the 8th fret, our little finger at the 10th fret, and then we move to the D string and play the 7th fret with our first finger, the 9th fret with our third finger, the 10th fret with our little finger, the 7th fret with our first finger on the G string, the 9th fret on the G string with our third finger, the 10th fret with our little finger, still on the G string. Then we're going to move to the B string with our second finger at the 10th fret, and then the 10th fret on the B string with our little finger. And finally we move to the thin E string with our first finger at the 7th fret, and then the 8th fret. So if I say the note names, if we play it here, it'll be C, D, E, F, G, A, B. We're back to C, and then it goes D, E, F, G, A, then B, and then it ends on C. So what we do to play the scale is we basically start from the lowest note, go up to the highest note, and then work our way back down again. So what I'll do now is I'll just play along with the metronome at a few different speeds, just so you can sort of hear it, and also so you can actually see what it looks like. I should also mention here that for this sort of demonstration I'm using alternate picking, so I'm using down-up picking all throughout, but that doesn't mean you couldn't use things like economy picking or anything like that to play it. So this is 80 beats per minute, and I'm going to play one note per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll do 8th notes, which is 2 notes per click. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally I'll do one last timing, and I'll do 16th notes, which is 4 notes per click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that you can hear what it sounds like, I need to talk about a couple of really important things that you need to do with this fingering. Many guitar players kind of have the problem where they just learn scale fingerings without actually understanding them. So what I'd like you to do with this fingering is, one thing I'd like you to do is to memorize where the 3 root notes are. So those are the C notes in this case, because we're playing it in the key of C. So we have a root note, which is the first note of that scale, and then we have another root note at the 10th fret of the D string, and then we have the last root note being the 8th fret on the thin E string. Now what I get some of my private one-on-one students to do is to play those 3 root notes kind of like a chord. So I've got my second finger on the 8th fret of the thicker string, my little finger on the 10th fret of the D string, and finally my first finger at the 8th fret of the thin E string, and I get them to play it like a chord like this. So those are the 3 root notes. So a good way to practice it is to play up and down the scale and then play the 3 root notes, and what that will help you do is remember where they are. So I'll just demonstrate that. And then I could repeat that for a few minutes. The final thing that I think is really important is to actually memorize the note names and the numbers. So for instance, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So that would be memorizing the scale degrees. So the best way to do that is just to say the scale degree number out aloud as you play it. Now the last thing, of course, is memorizing the note names. So in the key of C, we know it's no sharps or flats. So it would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So as I say, the 3 important things to do are to memorize where the root notes are, memorize the scale degrees, and also memorize the note names.